Hare Krishna. So all of you ready for the last but one chapter, 17th chapter? So tomorrow when you come, let me announce today because I will forget tomorrow. Please ensure that you carry a pencil and a pen. Don't worry, it is not going to be an exam or an evaluation. It is an evaluation, but it is not about the class, but it is about self-evaluation. So I want you all to bring a pencil and a pen because we've read so much about Bhagavad Gita and we are learning, right? So tomorrow, let's understand what is our score. As per Bhagavad Gita, what we are and what is our score, and is there a chance, are we pass, are we average, or are we above average? Now, Krishna consciousness is a relationship between us and Krishna, right? So you don't have to really compare your score. You don't have to share with me also, but it's important we understand our progress, right? So I would want this exercise to be done at level 1, which we are doing. I'm making even level 2 students do this exercise so that you know your progress, right? You're like quarterly exam and your half yearly exam and then your public exam, right? You want to have a progress. So that's the main idea. So the scores are confidential between you and Krishna only, not even me. So you don't have to share with me, but please bring a pencil and a pen tomorrow when you come, right? So does anyone know the name of the 17th chapter?
The divisions of the faith.
Thank you so much. I'm so impressed with you. Yes, the divisions of faith. Why faith is important? Not only about Krishna consciousness. Faith is important even otherwise, right? So I believe I come at 3 o'clock thinking that all of you will come. Now you believe that I will come. I'm going to talk 1 hour. You believe that whatever I'm going to tell is from Shastra and it is value to you. I also will believe, okay, all of you all have shut your video on, but your ears are open and you all are not sleeping or watching TV, but you're listening to me, right? So for every stage, there is confidence. That is faith, right? So we need to develop faith. So before we start talking much about faith, let me start off with Mangala Charan. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimura Andasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Snapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So let's go to the Shraddha Vibhaga Yoga. And this is the yoga, the division of faith, right? So the entire faith, how faith plays a major role. So before that, let's directly dive into the 17th chapter. And what are we talking about in the 17th chapter? What is the link, right? Does anyone remember what we read in the 16th chapter? Do you recall what we learned in the 16th chapter or the name of the 16th chapter? 15th chapter is the inverted banyan tree. And 16th chapter is?
About demonic nature and the divine qualities.
Thank you so much. Very nice. Very nice. So we read 26 qualities which are divine and 6 demonic qualities. Why are we learning this? To navigate the banyan tree, whether we should go up or down. And this continues telling, now we have understood clearly what is divine and demonic. That we are very clear. But what we are not clear is in between, gray area, right? Divine, very good. He is a Sura, right? He is a spiritual guy. Asura, demon, that we know. But we will neither be here, there. We'll be somewhere in between, right? Most of the time we feel I'm neither demonic nor am I, spiritual. So where do I fall? So to that question, Arjuna is going to start, because is that question in your mind? Because that was the first question in my mind. I have some qualities divine. I have some quality demonic. Where do I fall? Yes or no? I'm not referred to in Bhagavad Gita. So do I have a categorization? Do you get that? Are you with me? Sorry. Yeah, so Arjuna has an inquiry about unauthorized worship is 17.1. Ye Shastri Vidam Utshrijya. And Lord Krishna answers the three mode determine one's faith and worship. 17.2 to 7, try with the Bhavati Shraddha. Right? So the three modes largely define whatever it is, whether it is faith also or worship, everything is decided by the three modes. Now the foods in the three modes, very important. 8 to 10, Ayuha, Sattva, Bala, Rogya. How does foods have an impact? Now, besides this, you have sacrifice, austerity, and charity, all of them which are going to be discussed in the three modes. And sacrifice, austerity, and charity at any point should not be given up. This is what is discussed between 17 to 22. And finally, they are going to talk about Om Tat Sat. What does Om mean? Which we already did in the 7th chapter, but we'll relook at it. What does Tat mean and what does Sat mean? Right? So we are going to see all of it today. So yes, you can start reading. Who's going to read today? Oh, only my hand is raised. Who's going to read today? Someone start fast, then only I'll have time to tell the stories. Yes.
Simran Mataji has raised a hand.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see. So sorry, Simran. Please go ahead, read.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scripture but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Very clear reading. So always this confusion comes, right? So if he is going to read, if he is going to worship in his own imagination, what mode is binding him? Goodness or passion or ignorance, right? So that's a typical confusion which he'll have. So we'll see what Krishna is saying. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Traividya Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Lord said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now, hear about this. Can I go ahead with 17.3?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. 17.3. According to one's existence, under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So now we will go back to 17.2. So what is happening? How do the karmis have? What mode they are in? They are in the rajas, right? So we see karmis are always goal-oriented, tasks. Come on, you can do it. All this dialogue is from karmis. Now let's go to the next category, which are the jnani. So jnanis are in accept only the achieve So what does it mean? Right? You praise about the three modes, right? So Krishna is telling it's not enough if you're just stuck here. Please go about the three modes, and that mode is the Suddha Sattva. So bhakti, prema, and then you go to the right? So that's what you do. One's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular way. So depending on the nature, so even your faith is determined by what mode you are. So you will have obviously you'll have a total belief. If you'll be totally, if you're an ignorant person, then your belief will be lower. We'll see your destination. Hare Krishna. Yajati satvika devan yaksha rakshami rajasah pretan bhuta ganam schayanti yam shajanah. Hare Krishna. I can't hear you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it is I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen?
Yeah, I can't see the screen.
Yeah, I can see the screen, Mataji.
I also can.
Then you read, no? If until she's able to see. Hare Krishna, please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji,
Come on, one of
Hare Krishna Mataji. The Supreme Lord
take
said,
it.
according to the modes of nature acquired by embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now hear about this. 17.3. According to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what they are saying is men in the mode of goodness, right? He worships the demigods. And those in the mode of passion worship demons. So now you're going to be confused. Oh, Mataji, but you're telling me goodness means by demigod. Because even if you worship demigod, it means that he is in the mode of goodness. Because if you go back to the 4th chapter and also to the 7th chapter, you will clearly see that Krishna is saying that anybody who is the worshipper of demigod will, that thought and that ignorance is gifted by Krishna. So Krishna talks about demigods in the 4th chapter as well as 7th chapter and 21st verse. And he very clearly, and 22nd verse also. So in 21st verse, he tells very clearly, demigods are part and parcels. And 22nd verse, he's saying that, that demigods not only are part and parcels, I'm the one who's giving you that field to pray the demigods. And it's like serving the demigods, it's like serving the ears and the mouth, not putting the food in the ear and the nose. So you have to put it in the mouth, right? You basically water the roots. So that is like worshipping Krishna directly is watering the roots. But if you put the food in the ear and the nose, it will not reach, right? So that's what happens. However, even demigod worship is coming because you believe in it and Krishna grants that. But finally, the conclusion is demigods take power from Krishna for executing all this, right? So men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods, but those in the mode of passion worship the demons. So we have second category, which I always tell. Demon worship, you will tell Mataji, who worship? See, Hiranyakashipu and Ravana were worshipped, but they are not the only demon. Today, any politician is a demon. You agree? Today, any politician is a demon, and there are a lot of worshippers. In fact, I always tell this. In fact, in one of the youth batches, 2 batch prior, is when they told me that Amitabh Bachchan has a temple in Calcutta. Did you all know? But there is an actress by name Kushbu who had a temple in Madurai. I have not bothered to visit the temple. But if anyone knows about Rajinikanth, not Rajinikanth, what is it? Amitabh Bachchan's temple, let me know. Because that was told to me by one of the youth student only. Thank you all. And one thing I know is Hitler, all of you all know Hitler. And there was one business guy who really was worshipping Hitler. You know why? Because whatever he did, right, killing people and all, gave him a lot of profits in his business. So therefore, he started worshipping. And then men in the mode of ignorance pray all this ghost and spirits, Buddha. So, Bhuta means ghost, Preta means the person immediately dead, right? So that is Preta. So the body of the ghost it does not have a gross body. It only has a soul and a subtle body. Preta actually does not have a gross body. It has a soul and a subtle body. But it also has one body subtle than the gross body. That is only the difference. Yeah, so you can see demigod worship and you can see all these Bhuta worshippers, all black magic comes under that. 19.5 and 6, and one of you all can read. Please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
So he says that, men in the mode of goodness, right? So who is this person in the mode of goodness? So somebody who is in the mode of goodness will be worshipping we typically know. So what happens for that person who's in the mode of goodness? So they will clearly be worshipping only the demigods and all of them. But those who undergo the severe austerity, I thought it happens only in India, walking on the fire, or hurting self-injury. But I later understood even in Western countries, they do all this. So you take the classic example of Hiranyakashipu. There was an ant hill which was built around him. How? Nobody built it. He was doing tapas and he hurt himself. And many people, you will still be aware, they beat themselves with, what do you call that? That thick thread, that rope, right? So they hit themselves. And they also have many people who stamp the fire. Some of them who put hooks, some of them who, sharp edges, right? So with lemon on one side. It is not mentioned anywhere in the Shastra you can do that. Nowhere in the Shastras it is mentioned. But they do all this because it is not as per Shastra, but it is because they want to get something. So that is totally not allowed. So now we'll move to the various foods. But before that, okay, I jumped the gun. Yes. Yeah, now you can read. Then I will release the pictures. Yes, Hare Krishna.
17.8 to 10. Foods in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purifies one's existence, and gives strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, pungent, dry, and hot are liked by people in the mode of passion. Such food cause pain, distress, and disease. Food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, stale, putrid, decomposed, and unclean, is food liked by the people in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly they are saying that food is in the mode of goodness. What happens? It increases the duration of life, right? And they also purify somebody's existence. And they give a lot of strength, health. Classic example is they look very fatty, but very healthy. And it is very bland food. It's not spicy. This example, when you need to have buttermilk juice, these little water will come from my eyes, not because of my love for friend, but so spicy, right? Andhra, take a cup of ghee. You know why they take the cup of ghee? If they don't take, they will get allergy. So that's the situation. And this is in the mode of passion. Whereas if you take all the stale, you can see these kind of thinking and all, yeah, with Hare Krishna. Yes. 17.11. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you can read now, Mataji. Simran Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Ma'am, I can see the screen 17.
I'm not able to see. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Or of sacrifices that is performed according to duty and to scriptural rules and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly, any sacrifice that is done according to a duty, as a duty, and as per the scriptural rules, right? So the Sankirtan is not just mentioned here; it is mentioned in so many places. That is what it is, and there is no expectation of reward. They are all said to be in the mode of goodness, right? So that's very clearly mentioned. But 17.12, let's see. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit, right? Somewhere you have some benefit. Which is performed. It can be austerity or pride. Anything of that sort is sought to be in the mode of, passion, because they expect something. So my cousin also went and spent some 25,000 to do a yagna because she was abroad and she wanted to relocate to India. Now, whether the demigod was powerful enough to send her back to India, I don't know. But this she has been doing for the past almost 10 years now. But still she continues to be in US. So there is a motive behind that, right? So that for some benefit, and some of them do out of pride, I'm so rich. I want to do exotic pujas in the house. If you take Ganesha Visat, in Hyderabad, there will be one street which will have huge Ganeshas, right? Why? Because they want another street minister will tell, I want bigger Ganesha. Not because they have bhakti, but because they want to really show their power. And what do they do on the 11th day? They do what's called the Visarjan, right? Go and drop the Ganesha right in the sea. And anybody knows who's in this picture? Mataji, you keep reading. Meanwhile, let me see if they can guess. Hare Krishna.
And that sacrifice performed in defense of scriptural injunctions in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no remuneration are made to the priest, and which is faithless. That sacrifice is of the nature of ignorance.
Can anyone guess who's in the picture?
Lord Shiva and
That's right. Who's the other person?
Bhasmasura.
Thank you, Prabhu. He's Bhasmasura. So what is happening is Krishna, Shiva is there and he has done everything. He's been like slicing his flesh and putting it in yagna. And finally, he is planning to kill himself. And Shiva comes. Now, Shiva comes out of compassion, not because he's impressed with him. And he comes and asks, what do you want? And he says that I want a benediction that if I put my hand on the head of someone, the person will become ash. And finally, he wanted to do that before Shiva. You know why? Because he was impressed with Shiva's wife. And he wanted to do this. Would you do this? Imagine if you have a friend whom you say that I want your book, practical book, so that I can take Xerox or I will copy and give it back to you. And you take the book and destroy. What kind of a person are you? Can you call yourself a best friend? Forget about best friend. Can you call yourself a human being? No, right? So that is the kind of demonic qualities they have. So it's neither as per Shastras. They create their own pujas. They have no remuneration, no Vedic hymns are preached, and they are completely faithless. So this is this category. Now we're going to see 17.14, Hare Krishna. So this one, we'll see Hare Krishna. Deva Dvija Guru Pragnya, Pujanam Saucham Arjavam, Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha, Shariram Tapa Uchyate, Hare Krishna.
the austerity of the body consists in this: worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and the superior, like the father and the mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence are also the austerities of the body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Austerity of the body, right? So what do? They worship of the Supreme Lord. Look what and all they worship: the Lord, the Brahmana, right, and the spiritual master who's a teacher, and parents. So therefore, Krishna is again telling parents, family is very important. It's not that they want to leave the family and run away. There's so much of disturbance. Yeah. So cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. These are the austerities related to body. So having a clean body, maintaining it both internally and externally, being very simple. Celibacy is living a very disciplined life, and non-violence, all of us know, right? So these are very important. 17.15, Hare Krishna. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Hare Krishna.
Austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna is telling austerity of speech, right? It is speaking truth. It is not just like, okay, and the truth should be truth as well as beneficial. I'll tell you how. I have got, some child comes and tells, or child's mother tells you 95% my daughter got, you have to tell very good, right? Which you will tell. But truth is my maid's daughter got 99%. Is it required? It's truthful only, but is it beneficial? It's not beneficial, right? So such talks are not required. And avoid speech that offends. This will offend the person, right? So my aunt used to always tell, anybody tells Mark, she'll tell, my maid's child used to get that. Then one day we all told, yes, the maid's child does not have any distraction like mobile or TV or anything. And therefore, the point is her requirement to comment is also not required. Our requirement to counter comment is also not required, right? So this is a very unwanted discussion most of the time. And you have to be honest, right? But you should also not give away information which are not relevant to it. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. So reciting Vedas actually make you feel realized, right? So that is what Krishna is saying. 17.16. Okay, before she reads, can anyone tell me in the picture, who's he? Who's this small, good-looking, very handsome, naked boy? Can anyone guess? Even if it's wrong, guess. Can anyone guess?
Is he the son of Kubera?
Not Kubera. That is two sons, very nice, but they are different.
Is he Vyasa's son? Vyasa Maharshi's son?
Very perfect. Yeah, perfect. Vyasadeva's son. Correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Vyasadeva's son. What is his name? I want his name because it's pretty important for the context.
Sukadeva.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. Both of you guessed it so well, and I mean told it so well. He's Vyasa's son, and his name is Sukadeva. And Sukadev Goswami is who is none. Who's Vyasa? I'll start from here. Vyasa is the incarnation of Krishna, and Sukha is a parrot of Radharani, and he comes and gets into the mouth. How does this happen? Is Sukadev actually Radharani and Sukadev is actually arranging for a pastime of Radharani without the information or without taking an okay from Vrinda. Who's Vrinda? Tulsi Rani. So because of that, what is happening? Tulsi has to fix the place. She's got that prime role, right? She's the like our event organizer, like that. She is the one who is organizing when, what, and all that. So Sukha is sort of cursed. They tell go, and Sukha on the way comes and sits in the place where Shiva is there, and Shiva is talking Padma Puran to his wife Parvati. And that time, what happens is Parvati sleeps off. But he is a parrot, right? So he can imitate. So if he's going on talking and he's so excited because he's hearing to the Bhagavatam stories, and he says in the name of the parrot, in the wife's stomach, I mean in Parvati's voice. And after a long time, Shiva gets angry. He says, oh my God, you have been imitating my wife and made me tell the entire Bhagavatam, I'm going to kill you. And he chases him. So he comes running, and correctly Vyasa's wife's mouth is open and he enters. And that's how he becomes a child, and he is there in the stomach as a child for 14 years. Then prior to that, just immediately after he enters, Vyasa tells that, why you want to kill him? Anybody who's a devotee, how do I know? Yes, he's from there, and more than that, he's been listening to your Bhagavatam. So anybody who listens to the Bhagavatam, how can you kill a devotee? He become an avatar, right? And Shiva, he convinces and sends him back. But after 14 years, he's scared to come out. He's saying, no, I'll not come out of Mama's tummy because I will get contacted with the material world and I will get spoiled. So Krishna personally comes and tells, don't worry, even if you come out, you will not be spoiled. And then he goes around to all these places, right? This, he's here where Vyasa is there. Basically comes out as it is, right? 14 years and he runs. And there are a lot of girls who are taking bath undressed, but they don't get disturbed seeing a 14-year boy because they know that he's so pure. It's like a child, right? You have a 4-month child or a 5-month child, you don't bother, right? You know whether it's a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter because the child is very small. So is with an animal, right? But when the Vyasa came, even though he is also very spiritually inclined, they immediately cover their body. Why? Because he's a grahastha. He knows the difference, boy, girl. But Sukha is very pure, and Sukha was the one who narrates Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. Who is Parikshit? He is Arjuna's grandson, Abhimanyu's son. Hare Krishna 17.17. Shradhaya paraya taptam tapastatrividham narai apalakanshi bir yuktai satvikam parichakshate. Hare Krishna.
This threefold austerity practiced by men whom aim is not to benefit themselves materially but to please the Supreme is of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So he says the threefold austerities, right? So whatever you do, practiced by men whose aim is not to benefit themselves materially, but to please the Supreme God. So you take Vrindavan Parikrama. Parikrama means going around. And Govardhan, they go around Govardhan. I think it's about 14 miles or something. Mayapur Parikrama, I know. That is very lovely Parikrama because we don't walk. We go in the boat because it's all water, right? So Navadip, we'll go. So all the austerities which we do is giving us great peace because it is all done in the mode of goodness. So these are all coming to tapas, right? Tapam means tapas. This one we saw. We'll go to 17.18. Hare Krishna. Satkaramana pujartam tapodambena chaivayat kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalam adrudvam. Hare Krishna.
Those ostentatious penance and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, and reverence are said to be in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly, they penance austerities which are performed to gain respect. I already told anything for the sake of honor, reverence, right, is mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent, right? Because it's very, very temporary. It will neither be stable and it is not worth at all, right? So therefore, you should never focus on anything which is going to be giving us with the I factor, because everything should be for the satisfaction of Krishna. So that is so beautifully brought out. 17.19 Mura grahenatmana yat vidaya kriyate tapah parashyot sadhanartham vya tattamasam udahritam. Hare Krishna.
And those penance and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of obstinate self-torture or to destroy or injure others are said to be in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
So anything which is done, I told, with self-torture. We just read Prabhu's words, right? Whip. When he whips himself, or whether he burns his leg, walking in fire, all this is not acceptable. This is all done in the mode of, ignorance. So now let's go to Dhanam. Now there is a confusion between the word Dharma and Dana. Dharma means religion, what you have to follow. Dhanam is what you give, right? So I'm doing Dharmam. There's no Dharmam word. It's only Dhanam. Hare Krishna. Datavyam iti yad dhanam diyate anukarine deshe kalaye patrecha yad dhanam satvikam smritam. Hare Krishna.
That gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of return is considered to be a charity in the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So anything which is given to a worthy person in the right place at a proper time. So he is giving Bhagavad Gita to someone who will not use it as a weighing machine, or not, what do you call it, paperweight, right? He's not going to throw it away. He's going to really take care in a proper time and place. That is to be in the mode of goodness, right? So anything you give a Japamala as gift, or all these books, they'll all be in the mode of goodness, in the right place. Now 17.20, that's the same picture in my DP behind. Yes.
Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place and to the worthy person is considered to be the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So anything charity given out as, you don't have any expectation of return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person, right? You are giving it to a person who's worthy of it. That is to be in the mode of goodness. So very clearly he says charity. Example is today's birthday, all of us tell, what did you buy for me? Yeah? But those days, when you have birthdays, they never used to ask, what did you buy for me? Instead, they will buy in turn, right? So Krishna was a small child, right? When he was, this was during Janmashtami, where the father was giving away close to 10,000 cows. He had 9 lakh cows, but 10,000 cows fully jeweled to rightful Brahmanas. So even the person whom they are giving is very correct. So they used to ensure that. So that is a level of charity. Now this is a very hilarious picture, but it's a real life picture. So let me explain. Hare Krishna. Yattu pratyupakarartham palam uddishya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam khadanam rajasam smritam. Hare Krishna.
But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitive results or in the grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly what they are saying is, but charity performed with the exception of some return. Okay, now all of you will be very clearly aware of it, just that it's not ringing a bell. Now, you take a lot of people who are, who will go and give all this to the poor and take selfies. You come across, right? Already this person, and they will tell, before I took selfie, I took permission. What permission? They will be so scared. Already they are in dearth of food. He's got a poor wife. He's unable to work. 2 children dependent on him. And how does he have the commanding position? So if you ask, I'll give you vegetable, is it okay? Naturally, he will tell yes. Otherwise, he doesn't have a choice, right? And a classic example is many of them have the habit of
Hare Krishna.
okay, spiritual journey, and Manisha is boring. And just imagine if he goes on telling, Manisha goes on telling, I gave Simran borrowed from me, Simran borrowed from me, how will Simran feel? Simran, how will you feel? Oh, might as well not borrow only from her. Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for somebody like you who is borrowing just because of one emergency, it is not that you can't afford, nor that you are, in a crisis situation, but it would have been a situation where you might have had a requirement or an emergency, but in spite of that, you feel bad. So imagine people at the background where they really can't afford. What will be their plight, right? So we are actually playing with the emotions here. So that is typically called the mode of passion. We'll see these days a lot in Facebook, right? Really doing people will be silent, but all those who won't do will be like advertising. 17.22. Adesha kale yadhanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avajnanatam tattamasam udaritam. Hare Krishna.
And charity performed at an improper place and time and given to an unworthy person without respect and with contempt is charity in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
See, this is also charity. So somebody sponsored BD, sorry. BD is the Indianized version of cigarette. And somebody was rolling and giving, it seems. So what is that? That is in the mode of ignorance, right? So somebody, I'll tell you a latest example, which are like Salman Khan, right? Salman Khan, wherever he goes, the drink is on house. Now that is also charity. But the fact is that he is going to motivate more people to eat non-veg and more people to drink more because it's on the house and it's fully sponsored. Now that is a charity in the mode of ignorance, right? You do something, then it's not right, especially when you're promoting these kind of things. Hare Krishna. Now this is a very important chapter. I never understood until I finished my level 2. So please stop and ask me if you don't understand, because I'm just sharing what I experienced. So you don't have to feel bad if you have not understood. So I tell this even in my level 2. So I've asked them. So I request you all, stop me if you don't understand and I'll clarify. So these 3 words are there. Om Tat Sat. And what are they? Is the last part of the Veda and last part of this chapter, which is very, very crucial. So please read and then I will explain them. Hare Krishna.
From the beginning of creation, the 3 syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. Brahmana, they were uttered by the Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you so much. So Om Tat Sat. Om we've already read in the 7th chapter also. What is Om? Om represents even A-U-M. What is A? Krishna, U, Radharani, M is B, Jivatma. And it is chanted virtually in everything, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Do you all know anything which starts with Om? You can think and tell me. Any of your prayers at home? Not any, everything. With
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you so much. Om Namah Shivaya. Right? Om is for satisfaction.
Om
Sorry?
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha
Om Bhuvar, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Om Suklam Bardharam Vishnu Shashivardham, right? So everything starts with Om. So what does it mean? It is for satisfaction of Vishnu, so it's always prefixed. Now you will ask me then, Mataji, Hare Krishna Mantra is not having Om because Hare Krishna itself is addressing the energy and Krishna himself directly, right? So it is addressing Radharani and requesting them to give you service so that you can connect to Krishna. So Om is virtually there inbuilt. So Om is the impersonal form. There is no personal form. It's the energy form of Krishna. So it is a beginning. So that is Om. Now we will see what Tat represents. Is it there? The same thing from the beginning. Yeah, it's the same thing. Now let's see what Tat represents. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Thus, the transcendental undertakes sacrifices, charities, and penances, beginning always with Om to attain the Supreme.
Hare Krishna, that I'll read. So Om, so it's the beginning, right? So that is a pranama matra. So the beginning. O iti etad brahmano nedino ha nama. Om. So Om, I just said, Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of Vedic hymns to increase the Supreme God. Now we are going to see Tat. Yes, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
One should perform sacrifices, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement.
Hare Krishna. Tat Tvam Asi, right? Chandogya Upanishad. So what does Tat represent, right? So he says that it is basically something to perform sacrifice, penance, charity. Everything we use the word Tat. And Tattvamasi actually means that detached work. So we have already read in the beginning called the Karma Yoga, right? So what is yoga? Anything done for the satisfaction of Vishnu, Krishna, right? And yoga means connecting to God. And when you talk about Nishkama Karma Yoga, it means that you don't enjoy fruits. Like Arjuna, Krishna is telling, fight, but don't fight for the result. You just fight for the cause of law. Like how a doctor will operate, he chops the hand. It's not that he wants the hand or he does not want the hand. It's because for him, his duty is to save the patient, not whether by cutting the hand or not. That's not the choice. Same way, judge will offer a benediction or compensation to somebody or a hanging to someone. He's just doing it as a duty, right? So he is detached from it. He doesn't get emotional. Oh my God, I gave hanging. He may feel upset, but he's not going to tell, oh my God, hey, I got compensation. I feel, I am the doer. He knows it's what as per the law he has to follow. Same way, detached work. Why? For mukti. They completely disregard material result. They are not bothered about what result is there, especially material result, but they are interested in spiritual result. So anything which is done, which which does not take the results to themselves, is called Sat. Now we are going to see Sat. Hare Krishna.
The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. These works for sacrifice of penance and of charity, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Pratha.
So that means activity is eternal. Lord reveal this. The performer of is also eternal. The activity is also eternal, and the benefit is also eternal. Example: all of you are attending this class, right? So whoever is here, what is happening? The performer of the action, right? You are performing, I'm also performing, I'm reading, you're listening. All of us are eternal because we are going to be permanently there in spiritual world. And whatever activity we are doing, the performer, right? We are having that level. Whatever activity we are reading Bhagavad Gita, it is not at I learned geography and the geography is useless. I have never applied in my life. Yes or no? Have you ever felt one subject is useless? To be very honest with you, I felt all my subjects are useless. That's a different story. But have you ever felt that, oh, what I learned here is waste? I had something called PT. What is PT called? I don't know the expansion also now. Physical training. Physical training. I still don't know why I have a theory class on that. That was the most irritating because playing itself was irritating for me. On top of it, theory was like, I couldn't take it. So I'm sure each one of you would have had your own interest. Tell me, is there any subject which you felt is useless in your life, honestly? Yes or no? Or have you felt all your subjects are amazing?
No, geography and physical education is a big no.
Thank you so much. So much, right? So, and even now I'm having a problem in geography. I don't know which route to take. So the activities are, whereas in Krishna conscious, whatever activity you do, not just Bhagavad Gita, you do chanting, all that is aimed at eternity because the aim is to go to spiritual world and the benefits are also eternal. How? Mataji, what if I don't succeed? I don't do 16 rounds. I don't do 4 principles. If I'm reborn, doesn't matter. You have a bank balance of 1 crore in your next birth. Can you be sure that you're going to have 1 crore plus? No. We can be born as beggar also, right? But whereas spiritual activities are always there. So even we saw that, right? In the 6th chapter, it says, Papa Punya Kritak Lokan Suchitva Shashvata Samaha Suchiman Shrimatam Deke Logo Brishto Abhijayate. Because the benefits of these activities are permanent and it is getting carried forward. So now we are ending the chapter. Hare Krishna. 17.28. Esma. Hare Krishna.
But sacrifices, austerities, and charities performed without faith in the Supreme are non-permanent, O son of Pratha, regardless of whatever rites are performed. They are called asat and are useless both in this life and the next. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he very clearly says sacrifice, austerity, charity, performed without faith. If you're doing all this without any amount of faith, right, it is non-permanent. It is not at all permanent. And Partha, it's regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called asat. They are useless, right? Both on not only in this life, but also in next life, which means sometimes parents will force, no, you must come here, right? You should do this. So you do something without interest. Avidhi Purvagam, right? Or asat. Asat means without any belief. So when you do that without any belief, they are called asat and they are both useless in the current life and the next life. So that is what it says. So typically, I repeat, Arjuna's inquiry about unauthorized worship, ye shastri vidam ushrishya, right? Against the shastras or not as per shastras. The three modes determine the faith. Krishna says, Trividha bhavati shraddha, right? Shraddha means faith determined by three modes. Food in the three modes, 17.8 to 10. Ayu Sattva, what's that? Sorry, Hare Krishna. Ayu Sattva Bala Yoga. So food in the three modes, they are talking about food which are mentioned in the three modes. What are the modes? We saw, right? The food, like, the very healthy food, then the mode, the burning food, and this one are all in the three modes. Then sacrifice in the three modes. Apalakakshibir. So whatever sacrifice you do or austerity you do, all are in the modes and you never give up on all that. That's what it says. Pujanam, Saucham, Arjavam. Saucham means cleanliness. Pidaya, Kriyate, Thapa. Right? You maintain the tapas. Deshe, Kale, Cha, Patre, Cha. Charity when you do, irrespective of any time. And final conclusion is Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesham. This is the final, right? It's always there. It should be offered to Supreme and it should never be stopped. And with this, we will conclude our most important chapter 17. And tomorrow, as I said, don't forget to bring your pencils and pen and we'll go. Before we take question, Vancha Kalpata Rubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, come on, all of you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. So I'm before you have any questions, you all can ask, and then I want to announce level 2. I hope all of you have finished your quizzes because level 2 is going to start very soon, very soon. So can I request? I think the dates are also this weekend. It will start most probably. So I request you won't have much time because you all are finishing a little late this time because instead of 18 days we've dragged you till tomorrow Akshaya Tritiya. So can I check with you all if you all have finished your quizzes? If not, please go back and finish your quizzes and do your level 2. There are 2 levels of level 2. One is a level where you will give exams, tests, quizzes. If you are not interested in giving exam, test, quizzes, you can just be a part of another team. And Prabhu, Mohandas Prabhu, have you shared both the details?
Yes, Mataji, we have shared in the group.
Okay, thank you so much. So did anyone read that one from here? Mohandas Prabhuji, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, I think I'll read it out, Mataji. 1 minute. Just give me a second.
No problem. Sure. But my sincere interest would be you should take with the exam because you all are, smart young children, right? You may want to go to level 3 and there you should not have you should not get stuck. But you should be in one of them because that will help you to progress. You will know more. And also what you will do is you will learn Bhagavad Gita only on weekends. So it will be only 2 days a week class. We have a lot of students who are progressing. If my guess is right, I think Ratna Mataji was taking, but currently I think there's one more Mataji would be taking for you. I will come back to you on the name, but don't have to worry. They are all experienced teacher and you will thoroughly enjoy the class. So you'll have it on Saturday, Sunday at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. 7 or 8 p.m. They'll confirm to you. You can start registering after you finish your quiz. Prabhu, sorry, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we have two level 2 courses. Radhika Mataji was explaining. One is called the Bhakti Shastri course. So this will be a 3-year course with disciplined efforts. It leads you to level 3, level 4, level 5, and ISKCON's Bhakti Shastri degree. And it will have an organized curriculum with the marking of attendance, weekly assignments, examinations, etc. And this course is highly recommended for devotees who would like to take to teaching, preaching services, and priestly services at ISKCON. In other words, if you want to have a deeper understanding of Bhagavad Gita and deeper understanding of how you can get to the Bhakti Shastri course, I think this is recommended. And there is another course which is lighter in the sense that it's called as Bhakti Sadachar course, wherein this course will be almost the same, but then it will not have any assignments and exams. And this is suggested for devotees who are unable to commit to assignments and write to exams due to personal reasons. So these are the 2 types of courses. And both these courses will be on the weekend. There will be 2 classes per week. So that's all it's about. And then I've already posted the link which for registration in the group, but I'll again do so after the class is over. I'll again post it in the group. So the prerequisite is that you will have to complete your quizzes for level 1. And as soon as you complete the quiz, I think you can download a certificate, and then you can apply for the level 2 courses, whichever you are choosing, either the pre-Bhakti Shastri course or the Bhakti Sadachar course. Hare Krishna.
So any doubts on this subject? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I wanted to know what will be a timing of these sessions, and along with it, how many levels will be there? Like we are starting from level 2 in coming days. So overall level will be how?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. So to answer your first question, this will be on weekend, that is Saturday, Sunday mostly, and it will be for an hour. As
Okay.
you mentioned, it may start at 7 or 8 p.m. I think that depends. That will be announced. So it will be mostly for an hour. And as you know, when you have to really plan at least an hour and a half, because if there are any questions and answers, and so that
We'll get a recording also, right? We'll get recording of that too.
Recording also will be available.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
That is
Hare
one.
Krishna.
And regarding the second question, see, as Bhakti Shastri gets on to level 5, so that means as soon as this is what we have done in the last 18 days, 17 days, it's only the level 1, the basics. We're just having just an overview about what Bhagavad Gita is. I'm very much sure that you only would have got a glimpse of Bhagavad Gita, but there are a lot of questions and a lot of things in your mind.
Yes. Want to explore so much. So
yeah. Only when you get to level 2, you will get more deeper, and level 3 will be much more deeper. Like that, in stages, you will be taken through the courses, and eventually, when you get to level 5, you will be fully prepared, for the higher thing, deeper understanding, as well as taking classes, preaching, and everything. So from level 3 itself, we have got teachers, who actually take classes, for different levels. So as you complete, or rather as you finish your level 2 itself, most of the devotees, they get into teaching and the higher levels.
In fact, you sorry for interrupting, Bhakti Riksha. Tell them about Bhakti Riksha, how it works.
Yeah. Actually, when you get to level 2, not only the classes, you'll have learnings from the classes, but also you'll all be grouped into smaller groups. So they call it study circle, or we call it as a Bhakti Riksha. So there, from the class, I think maybe 10, 15 of you would be grouped into one Bhakti Riksha. And there again, you will be reading of the chapters, then sharing of learnings. And then even beyond that, if in case you have any doubts, or as you live Bhagavad Gita in your life, I think you may come into different situations where you will need some clarity. All those things are also discussed in the Bhakti Riksha, as well as, of course, you can take it up in the classes as well. So the real spiritual journey starts when you enroll yourself into the level 2. Hare Krishna. Ananta, you would like to add anything further?
Any doubts which you would like to clarify? Any of you all?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So
Hare Krishna.
just wanted to know, like, how you think that there are 2 courses, right? So what will be a good for me or the youngest is
I
basically?
very clearly told, take the one where you can give exams, right? Because that one is where you will be serious. And second thing is, only then you will be able to go to level 3, because level 3, the rule is, right, they will make it very clear that you should be having your exam, just like now, you're having your certificate uploaded and all. So after level 2, what we do is level 3. Remember, every time I chant, I tell this is from Isha Upanishad. This is nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion. You will want to explore more Upanishads and all in the same line, which is going to help you. So if you ask me, it is going to be of great use for you also personally, because you should not give off this course, right? This will be like 4 months. After 4 months, you come back and tell such questions are so simple. Simple. If you had told me, Mataji, I have written the test because now I want to go to level 3, but I'm not allowed to, right? I don't want you to miss out on that part. So at that level, you can think. So the best thing is called the Pre-Bhakti Shastri course, which has a formal exam and all that, right? Because that one only leads you to 3, 4, and 5. See, one is mainly for not you all, it's for people who are very elderly. Sometimes, there are people who do level 1 even at the age of 60, 70, and they're not tech savvy. So they are very uncomfortable to go and click quizzes. They don't know how to manage the questions. They find it very difficult. So for them, this is excellent, right? Like imagine my mom or my grandmom or your grandparents or your parents, they'll be very uncomfortable going to quiz, toggling pages. They can just come, relax. They want to enjoy class and go back. Yes or no? But for you all, you will have already tried the level 1 quizzes. So it's going to be very easy, right? So the assignments and quizzes are pretty much what you do in the class. You don't need detailed homework or detailed preparation. Why I am suggesting this is because after some time you may feel that you want to preach, right? As he said, Bhakti Vriksha group or next level, right? See, I am also a student of Bhakti Shastri. I'm a 4th level student, but I'm going to preach you all, right? So I've been preaching you all. I preach level 2 also. So you can technically preach your lower levels when you start getting elevated into higher levels. So my only suggestion is this. Please go ahead and...
thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, is there going to be one for, we are from Sydney, so our timings like 7 o'clock Indian Standard Time will be like 12 midnight Sydney time. Is there another session?
I think there should be other options. Why don't you get online? Mohandas Prabhu, are you aware of any other timing? I was taking level which would be very convenient for you at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
But I think that is not there at the moment. But Mohandas, is there any other timing which is available?
Now, let me check and respond, Mataji. Yes, let me check.
We'll come back to you. Yeah, we'll come back to you. But please go ahead and register, because that 6 a.m. batch, 3 of us were taking. Now I think only I was there. So it's going to be very dependent on one person, right? Because suddenly I fall sick or I'm traveling, we'll not have a backup. And moreover, I'm taking another responsibility. So I will not be, and I'm not finished, right? I've not finished my 6 a.m. batch as yet. I'm in the last chapter. So I don't think we will, at least I won't be taking another 6 a.m. So I'm not very sure, but we will definitely come back to you. And that too, this is a separate group. This is a youth group. What I was taking also is not a youth group. So 6 a.m. youth, I don't think we had level 2 at all. We had only for adult group 6 a.m. But my request is, Mataji, please go ahead and enroll. We'll see what suits and where the challenge is. At least, when there's another slot, if not this month, next month, we will have you in the pool.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all of you, Hare Krishna. Till once Hare Krishna, we'll stop recording and we'll move to chanting.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Who's going to do the chanting? And
So
you might have to...
I'll stop the recording.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead and stop.